Well, good afternoon and welcome to Go for Lunch. Glad to have you here. My name is Roger Harmon with GoFor Technology, where we help you make the technology work for you. So glad you could join us. And today we're going to talk about Apple Pay. But first, I want to emphasize that there are no stupid questions. The only stupid questions are the questions you don't ask. And remember, when you ask a question, you're helping somebody as well as yourself. So let's jump right in here and talk about this thing called Apple Pay. What is Apple Pay? Well, it's a mobile payment system which uses a digital wallet service and allows users to make payments in person. You can do it in an iOS app. You can do it on the web through Apple Pay web support, which only works in the Safari browser. And it is supported on the iPhone, on the Apple Watch, on the iPad, and of course on your Mac. So the advantage of Apple Pay is that it digitizes and replaces a credit card or a debit card chip and PIN transaction, and it is contactless, which of course in these times contactless is a good thing. So you do have the contactless point of sale opportunity there. When you go to a store, you don't have to touch anything. You don't have to touch the terminal. You just have to be close by. So there are other contactless systems which, excuse me, we're not going to cover today. And Apple Pay is also secure because it does use either the Touch ID or the Face ID to verify that it's you that's spending your money. So that's great. So the way this contactless system works, it uses a technology called NFC, which stands for Near Field Communications. And when we're talking near field, we're talking, like about that much, not very far. So somebody else can't come by and trip it because they have to be closer than they can be if you're standing in front of the terminal. So now there's several ways that you can use Apple Pay, and we're going to talk about that right now. So in every iPhone, starting with the iPhone 6, you have the capability of doing Apple Pay. And that is because you have in your iPhone, comes from the factory with the Apple Wallet. So that's what the icon looks like for the Apple Wallet. So the way it works simply is when you're in a retail environment, you get ready to pay for your purchases, and you can just hold your phone up next to the terminal. It doesn't have to touch the terminal. And it will automatically switch to Apple Pay. So it senses that there's a payment terminal there. It switches to Apple Pay. And then it will either use Face ID, or if you happen to have a mask on, then you double click on the side of the phone. And that's the first step, is you double click on the side of the phone. It uses your Face ID or your Touch ID. And then if it can't see your face for some unknown reason, then there's a button where you can just click on it and quickly enter your 6-digit or 4-digit passcode, probably 6-digit for most people now. And so that's how you get around the mask situation, is by just punching in your ID. But if you're not wearing a mask, it's all pretty much either Touch ID or Face ID. So that's how it works. There's another way it can work, and that is if you have an Apple Watch. So if you have an Apple Watch, you just click on the side button. So we'll just show you on an Apple Watch here live. So I can hopefully get this around so you can see it. So here's the side button right here. So you have the digital crown, which is the round button there. Kind of move it so you can see it a little bit. So you double click on the side button and you get a phone call. So we'll get rid of that from Lewisberry, Pennsylvania. I don't know anybody in Lewisberry. Okay, so you double click on the side button, click, and look, my credit card came up. So that's my default credit card. And then I just put it down next to the terminal. And like it shows here in the picture, and my transaction is authorized. And so the terminal, as you can see here, there's little lights that'll light up here, and on the screen it'll say authorized. So you know that it went through, and the clerk knows it went through. So you see this logo here with the kind of the radar little waves. That is telling you that that particular terminal uses Apple Pay. So they may not have the actual Apple Pay logo, but if they have this contactless payment logo, then that is probably going to work with Apple Pay. So that means that the terminal is equipped to do the NFC, the Near Field Communication Protocol, and make payments. So you may be wondering, where can I use Apple Pay? Well, currently, and this is of course increasing as time goes by, you can use Apple Pay in 61 countries. So as you can see here from the map, it's good in the United States, in Greenland, in Canada, in Brazil, in Europe. There's several different companies here in the Middle East, Russia, China, Australia, and New Zealand. And of course, the countries that are accepting Apple Pay continue to increase. So that's what you can do there. So in order to use Apple Pay, you have to add credit cards or debit cards, or we'll talk about also loyalty cards, to your Apple Wallet. So let's see how that works. We just happen to have an iPhone here. Let's see if we can make this iPhone work. So we're right here, and we're going to click on the iPhone. And look at that, it's working. Love it. So I happen to be in settings here. So I'm going to go out to my wallet. So you see wallet there is right below the settings icon there on the right hand side. So here is my wallet. So the way you add to the wallet, as you see in the upper right hand corner, there's a little plus sign. So you tap on the plus sign, and it comes up and says you can add cards to your Apple Pay to send money to friends and make secure purchases in stores, in apps, and on the web. So you tap on continue, and you have the choice of adding payment cards, credit or debit cards, and in some major cities you can also add transit cards. So that's not in our city at the moment, but who knows. So if we click on credit cards, and then what you do, we'll pretend like we're looking at a credit card here. You actually take a picture of the card. So you can't see it here, but there is a rectangle that has rounded corners. It looks like a credit card above the wording there, where it says add card. So you actually take a picture of the card. And it's not taking a picture because it can figure out whether there's a card there or not. So if that doesn't work, then you can manually enter the card. But it's worked for me every time. So sometimes you might have a card with a fancy design that doesn't photograph well, or there's glare or something. So there's a second way to do that. So then here you would just enter the card number and so forth. So that's about as far as I can show you without exposing a card number. And I had my card exposed about 2 weeks ago, my Citibank card, so we don't want to do that again. I didn't get it exposed on the internet, but somehow somebody got it. So I have a new Citibank card. So here's what the wallet app looks like. So you can see here that I have several cards in here. And I, of course, entered all those by taking a picture of them. And so my default card is the one on top, the Citi card. And that will automatically be the card that's used unless I go into the wallet and tap on a different card, and then it will use that card. So you see here, there's an Apple Cash card. Now this is not actually a real credit card. This is just a representation of your Apple Cash account, which is set up automatically when you set up Apple Pay. So you can see here that there's $481 in my Apple Cash account. And then it shows you the transactions. So instead of doing points, the Apple Card gives you daily cash. So my daily cash today is 2 cents. Then you skip down on the 18th, that was 40 cents, and so forth. So you can see, you can scroll down, and then here's a payment from a client. And then below that, you can see that I transferred $300.23 to my bank. There's two ways to transfer to the bank. There's an express method, which charges a fee, or there's the standard method, which will transfer the money in 1 to 3 days, and usually it's closer to 1 than 3, and there is no fee for that type of a transfer. So down below you see Bob Wood paid for lunch at Rosati's. Looks like we had pizza. And then I paid Bob Wood. So he sent me $11. I sent him $12.50. So you can see the difference there, sent on the top one for Bob Wood and received on the bottom one. So it gives you a real good accounting, and it's instant. You know, you do a transaction with Apple Pay, and it tells you within a minute or so. So let's talk about loyalty cards. So down here on the bottom, we have loyalty cards. Now you can see there, the little circle, it says hold near the reader. Well, if you go to Walgreens, for example, and you want to give them your Balance Rewards card, once you've entered it into your Apple Wallet, all you do is hold that next to the terminal, and it reads your Balance Rewards card. And then you would just click Done and hold it next to the terminal again, and it would take my Citi card to pay for the purchase. So that's real handy. You don't have to, go digging in there. You don't have to be saying your phone number out loud. So it makes it, again, a very secure way of doing purchases at many different retailers. So the places that I use my Apple Wallet and Apple Pay include, but not limited to, Walgreens, CVS, pharmacy. I also use it at Costco, Best Buy, Quick Trip. Where else have I used it? Subway. So there's a lot of merchants that do take the Apple Wallet. And a lot of times what happens is the actual retail clerk doesn't know that they take Apple Pay because it may not be written on the terminal, but you may have this logo that is for near field communication NFC payments. So the best thing to do is just try it, and you may be surprised and the clerk may be surprised. So you will have done a good deed because you have educated the clerk. So the next time they ask if they take Apple Pay, they'll know, yes, that they do. So that's a good thing. So let's see here. What else can we tell you about this Apple Pay thing? I know what we could do is we could actually try to do an Apple Pay payment. So the way Apple Pay payments work between individuals is by using the iPhone in Messages. So we're going to go to Messages here. I'll just show you as I'm doing this. So we're going to go to Messages, which is right here in this folder. And let's say we wanted to pay, let's see, who can we pay here? There's old Bob Wood. So now, let's just switch back here and show you the iPhone screen. Oh, who is that funny looking guy? So as you look at the little icons below where the message is being typed, so if I type in down below, oh, it took that away, so that's not going to work. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, so you see down below, you see the fifth icon over is the Apple Pay logo. So if I tap on that, then I have the choice of the dollar amount. So if I hit the plus on the right hand side, the amount goes up. And if I hit the minus on the left hand side, the amount goes down. So let's say I'm going to pay Bob $2. So I click on pay. I get the little gear that tells us that something is happening. And we just paid Bob $2. This will be a surprise to Bob because he doesn't know that we're doing this. So now if we go back to the wallet, okay, and we go down here to Apple Cash, we should see, well, we won't see it until he accepts the payment. So that's why it's not showing up as a latest transaction. So since we didn't rehearse this with Bob and have him ready to accept the payment, he wouldn't do that. But as you can see right here in our previous example, you can see where it says Bob received right there above transactions in 2020. So that's what will happen, and then it'll be in this latest transactions. So that is the way that Apple Pay works. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and please subscribe so that we can notify you when we go live, and click on the little bell next to the subscribe button, and that will be the way that you get notified. So that's very important to help you and to help me, because when I get 100 subscribers, then we get a nice, easy to use URL to help people find the broadcasts. So when I first started thinking about this, I there's a magnet up there that holds my phone in case you're wondering what that thump was. I was going to do a program on all the different commonly used digital payment systems like PayPal, Zelle, Square Cash, and Venmo, just to name a few. However, after researching those, I quickly realized that those would not fit in a 15 or 20-minute program. So we'll look at those later. If that's something that you would like to learn more about, please leave that in the comments, or you can email me or call me on the number that will be coming up shortly. Always remember that things that I put on the side can fall off, and have mask will travel. So I am still making on-site calls to help you with your particular specific needs with your Apple devices. So let me know if I can help, and I will be there. So our next Go for Lunch will be number 18 on the 8th of September, next Tuesday. So I thought those numbers will kind of interesting. So please hit a thumbs up and share this link with your friends. You can find the links in the GoFor Gazette, which comes out every Monday morning. So you can share that link or just send them the whole newsletter. That would be wonderful too. So thank you for listening and watching, and we will see you next time.